Hey guys, Marshall from Going Gear, SHOT Show 2014 in Las Vegas. Here with Robert Young Pelton from DPX Gear. He is the man behind the company. If you don't know who he is, he's done a lot of stuff in his life. I don't know if he wants to go over all that on video, but definitely Google him if you're not familiar with who he is. Done a lot of cool stuff so you can understand where he gets a lot of his inspiration for his knives. So you're the person behind all these knives, right? All the design and everything?
Yeah, Jeff Randall of Hesse Knives bothered me for 10 years saying, you know, you need to design a survival knife, and I blew him off every year until about 2008, and that's when I came up with the what we call the Hesse, the Hostile Environment Survival Tool. And I think everybody was kind of shocked at how small it was.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put everything you need into the smallest, toughest package. And I then realized that people like the idea of somebody coming from the outside with a lot of real-world experience saying, hey, why isn't there something that does this or that? So this knife took off. It's made by Sean Rowan. It's a beautiful piece of spring steel, beautifully tempered, and we back it 100% with a no questions asked warranty. We then turned that same idea into a folder, because as you know, folders are far more popular.
Right.
And but I'm not really a fan of folders in hard use because obviously they have pins. So I put a locking grip on it, so you can actually lock this up for hard use or skinning or when you get all greasy and sweaty. It also comes with a wire stripper, hex key, glass breaker. So there's a lot of value in there, but it never gave up the toughness and the thickness. So we always stick to the more durable side of things.
Why don't we take a little bit closer look at some of these?
Yeah. All right, so the range of DPX is kind of interesting. We go from something as simple as a $5 danger tag, which is a flat piece of metal that converts into a knife or an emergency tool if you need to have a sharp edge in a very quick period of time.
So the converting is just popping these pieces off?
Yeah, it's actually quite easy. You can break it here for a very quick, sharp edge, or you can break it here if you want to have something that cuts through a seatbelt. And you've got a serrated edge here. So it's a very unusual knife, but it's something you can carry in your wallet, and it's a business card, or it's a windshield scraper or a box opener. So for $5 you can't beat that. There's no warranty on this, by the way.
Send it back because the edge isn't as sharp. Come on, man.
This year we're introducing the HIT. We call our things by acronyms, but this is Handle Inversion Tool. And this is based on my need for the least amount of knife. So it's a quality piece of steel. It's CPM 35 VN. It's made by White River, but this is this new integrated handle and blade guard that you push the thumb stud. It flips back to form the handle, and then you've got your hand right in the middle of the blade. If you're climbing a mountain or if you're kayaking, you're also not going to lose that. And more importantly, you can close it back up without looking at what you're doing. So it's one of the major faults of neck knives is that you're always trying to stumble around and try to get the thing back in the sheath if you need it in a hurry.
Let me show the mechanism on that one a little bit better, because I know when I first picked it up, so it's this piece right here, you just push on it, you can see it kind of disengages it. And the same...
Well, you're much better. I'll hire you as a hand model.
I have too many scars on my hands, I'll never be a hand model. But really cool mechanism. This is a really impressive piece. You're gonna have a couple different versions of this, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have a Skinner version. This is the cutter version, but it's basically for people that just want to have a knife at hand when they really need one. Because the best knife in your kit is the one that you actually have.
Right. All right. So what's next?
We go up to a sort of high-end, short-run versions of our folder. This is an all-titanium version of our famous DPX Hesse folder. It's got the lock on it. It's got a tungsten carbide insert glass breaker. Goes for about $350.
And you've done matching lighters and all that kind of stuff with those, right?
We have fun. We're not a big manufacturer. You know, we know our customers pretty well, and they ask us to make things, and we're happy to do that. But a lot of people are just gaga about all titanium. So it's a nice feeling knife, and it's also very collectible because when we do a short run, you're not going to see it again. So if you see this, you know, snap it up. We also warranty our stuff 100%. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that I've been through a lot with manufacturers, and I don't tolerate even the slightest bit of, well, you must have done this or you must have done that. 100%, no questions asked. We take care of our customers. So we make kind of boring knives that unless you actually pick it up in your hand and feel the balance, you wouldn't really fully appreciate our Sear knife. This was developed in conjunction with Navy Special Warfare. They have a program down in Southern California. And this is a knife that you have to carry, so it has to be multifunctional: fighting knife, camp knife, survival knife, you know, dig a hole, skin an animal. So this knife is just a very, very elegantly done 6-inch blade, and that's a DPX Hesse 6.
What kind of sheath does this come with?
That comes with a tactical sheath. You know, you strap it on your gear. A lot of people make Kydex sheaths because they love Kydex over standard Cordura. But we sell both, so when you buy this knife, you can get a Kydex or a tactical Cordura.
And the standard DPX bottle opener included on it?
Yes. You can't survive without a beer opener, so we put that on there. But this is also the non-lethal end of that knife as well. So that bottle opener becomes a very vicious pain deliverer. So there's a reason for everything. This is more of an old school knife. We have a lot of people that like the idea of a knife that gets beat up as you use it. So this is a spring steel knife. It's a 4-inch blade. Has a serration, standard serration. Has a wire cutter, which I developed off of the AK-47. Also has, we call it a pot holder, but it's actually it does function as a beer holder. Hollow handles, and a pry bar, which is something that comes in very valuable if you're using this as a chisel. So it's a very durable knife. On the short side of our folder family, we have the new DPX Heat, and that's a 2.2-inch blade. But we never sacrifice, you know, durability when we make knives. This also has our sort of ergonomic, non-lethal application, so it always sits in your hand and is a kind of a confidence giver and sometimes a pain deliverer. So that knife comes out this year. And then on the very high end, we have a unique knife that I designed while driving through the Alps. This is a solid piece of titanium with an LMAX blade. There are no seams. It's machined out of a complete solid block of titanium alloy, US made. And then we take an LMAX blade and we sandblast and then PVD coat that blade. So you got a beautiful piece of synthetic steel that's very, very low profile. And we make this for people that work undercover, people who need a very light, strong knife. And once again, it has both a non-lethal and lethal application. So you can use it as a pain giver or as a skull crusher, which is very unusual to have a line of knives that are purpose-built for people who work in military environments, law enforcement, security. So.
You want to show the last one over there?
This one?
Yeah.
All right, so we also make hunting knives. This is a Sleipner steel. It's a 6-inch. It's called the Heft. Sleipner is a steel used in the meat processing industry. So we could actually get real results of a steel type used against meat cutting and finishing. Comes with unfinished or uncoated Santos wood handles, which are designed to actually develop kind of a patina. And you see the finish work on there. We round off the edges. We design our own serrations. They're designed to cut through flesh. So a lot of knives use a standard wheel to grind serrations. We actually designed these on the CAD system and tested them to go right through flesh. That's why every time you touch them, you cut yourself.
Yeah, they're sharp little suckers.
Yeah, and you can sharpen them. That's the key point. They all have flat heads on them. You can take a stone and just touch them up.
You know, the first thing I noticed when I picked this up is the weight of it. It's impressively lightweight for a blade this size.
Well, most people don't realize that our knives are actually hollowed out inside. So not only the frame, but the actual scales themselves have been hollowed out to balance the knife. So this knife has a completely different balance than that knife, but they're both engineered to be perfectly balanced products. So you have to feel them and then make your decision which one is best for you.
Big enough for an itty-bitty survival kit?
You know what? You can carry everything from a razor blade to our new hit. It's really the knife that you have that counts. So if you love a knife and it has multi-function, you tend to carry it more than if you have 50 different knives that do one thing.
Oh, I mean inside the handle, is it hollowed out enough to fit anything in there?
No, absolutely. You can put a fire starter in there. You can put matches. You can put fishing line, hooks, whatever.
Excellent.
Yeah.
People love that.
They do.
All right, Robert, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Hey guys, Marshall from Going Gear SHOT Show 2014 in Las Vegas. Here with Say
that again.